Welcome to Venus Transmissions. I'm Sat Avtar. We have a full moon on August 31st, and I'm going to talk in this video about that moon. We'll have another video with an actual practice. This is more about intaking the information, the frequency, the resonance, the wisdom that this alignment is bringing to us and we are bringing to it. You hear a lot of astrologers saying that astrology influences us, and we think of, or they think of astrology as something that influences us and has power over us. But I actually prefer to think of it as we are creating it. We are giving it the power. It does not have a power over us because we are the creators, which is a very empowered way that we are with this moon and all that we are going through, shifting into these spaces of empowerment and soul purpose and soul connection. Through this time, working with your intuition is so important. And we'll do practices over the next week or two to hone our intuition. Our intuition is the voice of our soul communicating with us. It's one of the most important things that you can do is to hone that craft of being able to hear yourself. We have lots of voices coming from lots of different places and from things in our bodies and memories and people. And it can be really challenging to hear that. At the end of this video, actually, we will stay tuned to the end because we will do a bit of a mantra meditation listening to this mantra, Sunya. It was actually one of my latest releases. I released it at the beginning of this year. It is a Shabad, and Shabad is like the word of the teacher, the word of the infinite. Wisdom. It's in the Gurmukhi language, which is sort of similar to Sanskrit. It's in Sikhism, it's another, and in mantras and Kundalini yoga, a lot of our mantras are in this script. Sunya means deep listening. Are we deeply listening to ourselves? That is the key. That is what we need to do to move forward. All solutions can be found in deeply listening to self. You will not ever find solutions outside of yourself. I booked a plane ticket yesterday to go back to Mexico. I had had a specific date in mind, but when I went to book the ticket, my intuition told me to book a different date. I don't know why. I will find out later, I'm sure. It's important that we can listen to this voice. We have been taught to deny our own voices, and this moon is going to force us to go inward. The moon represents the feminine. This is a very feminine full moon all around. And the feminine, that desireless aspect of ourselves, the egoless aspect, illuminating all that prevents us from that truth, hearing that voice, walking that path. Pisces is the 12th sign in the zodiac. It is a sign of immersion, intuition. The veil is thin. You can reach yourself, feel yourself at this time. Your dreams will be heightened. You may feel deeper psychic connections with others or things that are happening. Also, synchronicities. There's aspects of lots of synchronicities. Things coming to our awareness, wisdom, knowledge that we have been asking for so long. with this ability, this time, we also will find ourselves more emotional, more wanting to maybe even possibly lose ourselves in something. But make sure you are losing yourself in the right thing. The tendencies that you have of escapism will be heightened. Do you reach towards food, TV, substances when you want to escape a feeling? Can you train yourself to come home to yourself and have ways of coming into yourself that are more deeply healing, that reconnect you instead of separating? I have some notes I'm going to reference because I wrote so much about this moon. The domain of Pisces is water. Spending time near water, listening to the water. Again, that wanting to dissolve. But where are we dissolving ourselves? Can we dissolve our ego through connection to ourselves? It's the most sensitive sign in the zodiac. It's a visionary, a creative being. Validation of your creative desires will be heightened. You may find wanting to go on a new path and being able to close the door on the old path, and feeling that energy's been really coming on this past week. The feeling that we can move forward, that our state of being is what is important. That's what moves us forward. That's what changes things, not what's on the outside. We don't need to tell anyone anything. We don't need to get validation from the outside. It's all from within. The sun in Virgo, it's a supportive energy. So Virgo is more of an earth sign. They're both feminine. The sun represents our personality, how we show up in the world, more of the ego container. And what's at play here, so Pisces, how are you showing up in life as well? It's the feet on the ground of the cosmos, bringing that into this space. It's the pineal and the pituitary gland. That's why meditation is so important. The pineal and pituitary work together, and what you have is one side is what we see and everything that is creating this world, illusion, dream, whatever. But then also how we show up, how our personality shows up. And I'm not talking about the personality that it's a collection of all the things that have happened to us in this lifetime. I'm talking about the true personality. And this full moon, it is a doorway and a cusp between what was and what is. And the signs and the alignments, I'll look at it in my notes exactly what it was, but it is representing that doorway, that we are walking into what is to be and seeing that. And maybe it's not in full fruition, but we can really see that the energy is now here for an alchemical revolution, revolution on this planet of change. And I have a lot more to say about that, actually. So Virgo, knows how to hold the boundaries of oneself, which is very important because the sun moon in opposition, it's a polarity. So Pisces and Virgo in this polarity, this boundlessness with this ability to be bound and to bring into presence. It is at ease. If you think about the sun, the Virgo is at ease with stability. It is at ease when its world is in order. And it finds comfort in that, has the ability to create that, but it can also create a tension. This need to want to solve And you look at it through this as it is a need to want to understand self through the spiritual process. Spiritual process. One of that is the most feminine thing that you can do, is the most empowering feminine or masculine thing that you can do is have a spiritual practice. Understand yourself as a spiritual being. Virgo will support us finding a way to be here and to bring our intuition and our creativity, what is unseen, into being seen. Virgo likes to stick to plan a little too much, so you have to let go, because nothing is going to go according to plan. When Mercury went retrograde, I think it's a couple days ago now, the day I'm recording this, Virgo season started. Mercury in retrograde, people think it's about computers going wrong or something. It's about communication, our intellect. And retrograde is a slowing down and a backwards movement, so we go back to reflect. That's why your communication with others might be very strained right now. It might have blown up. There's an aspect with Mars, which is the god of war. And that's giving you the opportunity to look within, which is where the answer truly is. Virgo and Mercury play very well together. Pisces and Mercury, not so much, which again is that tension of, I need an answer. Where is the answer? I have to find the answer. But Virgo will help bring us peace. The feelings of our insecurity may come up. You know, how we live, how we care for ourselves, how we care for others. Both signs have a bit of a problem with chaos in the world. Pisces, because you get so melted into other things, you can be very affected by other people if you don't build, a stable arc line, a stable aura. And that is a lesson of this moon as well. What are your boundaries? What are your bounds? Sometimes boundaries are as simple as saying no to something. And that can be spiritually, energetically, with physical relationships. We forget how much power we have. I've come across a lot of people, clients, students, myself years ago, where I would have so much information coming to me on a psychic level that it was too much. And I had to learn, I created this shield through my energy, my decisive intellectual thought, my belief, through mantra, through practice. So this moon, you can feel, maybe it feels like chaos. It feels like so much is going on. You have the power to say, and get stable and use that energy of Virgo and its ability to give stability, to not get so lost in the chaos, but notice it. Because sometimes we don't even notice it. Again, that deep listening, being able to truly hear what is going on, and all the water in our body. We're 70% water. Our bodies are so affected by our emotions, by things that have happened to us. You will be able to release the instabilities and bring stability to that wave, to that water in your body. Listen to its wisdom. Make sure you're spending time outside, in the earth, gardening. Just start your day in a way that gets you grounded during this time. Use that intuition to also speak to the earth, speak to the mother. Feel your feet and that connection, the intuitive connection. Your feet are your first point of contact with this world. Go get some reflexology. insecurities around money, stability are coming to the forefront right now. I've been thinking about it for several days as well. Whatever we haven't transmuted in our belief system related to finances and money, which is related to our self-worth. This is all in this moon and the Virgo aspect. You know, we can use Pisces to pierce through the mundane, pierce through the veil, and access the wisdom and knowledge. See our insecurities and use this energy to transmute it. We're seeing that all over the place right now. All the conversations around AI are really reaching a peak right now. And that's because it's part of communication. It is part of Mercury. We're taking a moment to look at where we're headed and make conscious choices. And you can see that YouTube just put out an article where they're talking to artists about the use of AI. There is another decision, I forget from whom, but an internet-wide decision basically that AI created art is not going to get royalties or make money. And that can be a really great, beautiful thing. So it's putting integrity back and helping to release some of this fear that everyone has. Depending on how you look at the positive or the negative side, these decisions mean valuing artists, valuing our creative, because many of us look, AI could be used to be a tool. It's a tool of communication to support us, but it will never be as alive in this realm as a human. I do voiceovers and I'm starting to narrate books. So as an actress and a singer. And there's some projects now where people are literally stealing people's voices to use it for AI. But here's the thing. AI comes out of a computer. AI does not have a larynx. It does not have the emotional spectrum and capability. You can never get an AI to read a novel and narrate a novel with the accents, the inflections. When we are in a film, when we say the lines, people are, as actors, we think of images, we think of things and objects. And that triggers feelings, and the camera can see that. You can feel that. That will never translate. And this moon is a lot about us realizing that and putting a brake on how fast we are going. As you saw, one of the stocks for the company that sells the AI chips bolted up and then bolted right down. These are the huge questions that humanity is asking itself right now. And at the middle of all this is that undeniable, all-important question. Do we love ourselves enough? And do we feel that we are worthy? All of this stems from that. We also may feel at this moon some energy of obsessiveness, perfectionist, needing to be perfect. And I think that's a conversation with the AI as well. You know, we don't feel that we're perfect enough, so let's make AI help us be more perfect. Some people are choosing to use AI because they feel it's the cheap way out. Well, let's not pay people to do this. Let's pay a machine to do this, and then we can be greedy and keep all the money. But the thing is, energy is like a rubber band now. Karma, your karmic, shall we say, feedback comes quick these days. And whatever we are thinking, feeling, believing, being is coming to fruition. So, people that are going into those things thinking that are going to get their energy back. These structures based on illusion will not survive. What will survive is authenticity and love. Be assured of that, no matter what it might look like in 3D world in the moment. This wave of love that has come is clearing everything. And that's the Pisces. That's the water. Water can be strong and purifying. The body is very important. Virgo, these alignments are very important with the body, and I mentioned that before. You want to get physical exercise. If you're feeling like you get a breakout or maybe a little heavy because of too many toxins, exercise, sweat, move the body. You will move through this energy quicker. You will feel enlightened. You will feel your heart open. It will help you feel in control and be in your body more. Oh, my handwriting is so terrible. I don't know why. I'm very tired today. So normally I could absorb all this and just say it, but I had to write notes today. Mercury is also about our tangible goals, and individually and collectively. This moon is highlighting what is blocking us as individuals and collective from love. That's what is being illuminated. What is blocking us from that love? Virgo can create a tension and these alignments that will highlight. If we have a belief of feeling not enough, it's going to be highlighted. We're going to feel it, that feel of like, oh God, the work is never done. So if you have a resonance of that, especially in our culture of go, 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 we're going to be pretty smacked with that this full moon. Slow down. Realize that there is no end goal. It's about the present moment, about being, experiencing. A piece of art, sometimes an artist never wants to finish their work. It's never good enough. But again, we have to know that it's always good enough. We are complete. We're in a constantly undulating experience. It's not about the finished product. It's about the movement, the wave, the journey. We're being asked to let go. Let go of needing to know, let go of needing to finish. Let Pisces wash away and give everything up to the cosmos so that we can be real humans, completely brand new, refreshed, reborn. Saturn at play. Saturn is a limiting aspect. The moon is conjunct Saturn. It motivates us to find solutions through tension. It can do that. It's going to support us to find those answers that gets us to that selfless, egoless state, which is where we want to go. And the lessons of limitation of Saturn, they are just, you're not a victim. We have been stuck in victim consciousness for so long. Whatever you look at, I say this all the time, whatever you look at and you don't like about someone else is really a belief in you and a fear in you that you're still resonating. This moon will illuminate that. We have to overcome what is restricting us from love and from ourselves, because we are love. I hope it doesn't start to rain. So we have lots of trines happening, which is really, really supportive. God, I have still so much I can. Please don't rain. Please, please don't rain. Don't rain. So Jupiter is in Taurus, and Jupiter is the expansive. I say this a lot. Jupiter, it's like our expanding up to heaven. It's squared Venus, trine Sun, trine Mercury. A trine is one of the most auspicious alignments in astrology. This is where potential synchronicity are going to happen. The Sun and Mercury. Jupiter is going to help allow that energy that we need to get us through that doorway. What is to be able to see it, be it. Sun, Virgo, trine Jupiter. Again, Jupiter expanding. Even though between Pisces and Virgo, Pisces doesn't really like Mercury very much. Virgo doesn't like Jupiter and Neptune very much. So you have those tensions, but those point of tensions are what fuel us, because without tension, we'd have nothing. Tension is what gives the form. Tension is what gives the movement. We need tension. If you're Libra in this moon, you might find that you're a bit confused, maybe hard to make decisions. So best to just relax, rest, allow. Find the peace. Again, you've got a trine with Jupiter, Mars in Libra, Mars, the god of war. But Libra is the balancer. Libra wants harmony. The support of the synchronicities of Jupiter, but opposition Neptune. Neptune is Pisces' home. So Venus retrograde, I haven't talked about that a lot. It's been in a retrograde period for quite a long time. It just started its new 584-day cycle. So Venus is known as the morning and evening star. So there's a myth, the myth of Inanna, the descent of Inanna. She is an ancient Sumerian goddess. I chose the name DJ Inanna in the late 1990s. I DJ'd UK Garage and House. I toured, but I came upon this name, and when I saw it, I knew this was it. Her story, the descent of Inanna, is really like a metaphoric parable story of the descent that we go through into our shadow self to rise again. She goes into the underworld. She has to take off all her clothes. So she takes off all the things that she thinks gives her who she is and her personality. She goes into the underworld ruled by her sister. Her lover comes down to support her and rescue her. Not to be mistaken that we need a man to do that, but that masculine energy to rise again. She has to completely die. It is a metaphor for the death of the ego. And Venus is the planet of love. Love is the energetic pathway for that cycle and journey of the death of our ego. So look into that myth and Inanna as one of the first ancient goddesses, that fertility goddess, but she has a fierceness about her as well. And I find it interesting because what I went through a couple of years ago with a friend of mine who, as we think of our yoga teachers and other people in our community of sisters, what happened with her catalyzed my ego death, another huge portal to me connecting more to myself in a deep way, the betrayals. And there's part of the myth of Inanna that is also part of this betrayal, and it reminds me of that story. Everything is connected. If we get to a point where we've cleared enough trauma and we've meditated enough and we've gotten into ourselves enough, which we're all going to get there, you can really feel the oneness, and you can start to see the synchronicity of your beliefs, your thoughts, and the things that happen to you, and the stories that you might have read when you were younger, and how they manifest later, and how our soul, this is our entire, everything you see is your soul, and it's all one big pulsating experience. And after my parents died a couple years ago, I got to see them. After they died, I got to feel their souls. You know, I've had so many amazing experiences over my life. You know, I listened to some like near death or death experiences online. You can have these feelings of oneness here, building your intuition, using these portals like this moon to catapult you into those experiences. That's authenticity. Virgo and Venus, both Pisces and Virgo can lose themselves. Virgo can really want to prove worth. Venus in retrograde, this moon, you may see in your relationships where you're doing that. You can feel the resonance and how you need to shift out of that to be more empowered. Embrace the messiness of love as a gift. Often we get so caught up in relationships and love when things are messy because we want them to be a certain way. We're so trained with A, B, C, D, D, E, or whatever. Okay. Messiness. See, that is life. We want things to be in order, but that's usually a trauma response. There's beauty in the chaos. Find that through this time period. Are we being heard? The relationships, again, with Mercury in play are going to highlight if we're being heard. For us to be heard by others, we need to hear ourselves. And that's where I said the sunya, that deep listening, comes in. Virgo's energy is that of the beautiful voice. It's a gift. But with Mercury in retrograde, slowing down, looking at how we're out of alignment, Pisces is holding that back. So that's when we get the chance to see, are we being heard? Are we expressing ourselves? Are we getting our validation? Again, if we don't validate, if we are waiting and expecting to be happy in life or act in our lives or have solution until someone gives it to us, we won't get it. That's why when someone betrays you, you have to find the peace within yourself. When you are looking to something and you want it to change, you have to change the energy within yourself. It's all stepping out of victimhood. Do we feel we are screaming at the edge and no one can hear us? Are we hearing ourselves, or are we just screaming at ourselves? A lot of us are just screaming at ourselves, or we're being screamed at internally by our inner being and our inner child, and we're not listening. And that's what we need to hear. Both Virgo and Pisces represent what air is leaving. As we turn to what will be, it is the threshold of a new season, both of those signs. So let's listen to this mantra sunya for a few minutes. Listen to the words. I will have a card come up on this video. If you want to go check it out on Spotify, you can follow me. I have an album out. I have releases out. Please buy my music. I love you. I appreciate it, because making music is, FAI, man. Because if you had any idea how hard it is to make music, it's hard and it's expensive. It's a freaking commitment. If you love the music, you listen to it, support artists, because the more you support, the more you get that back. Just listen to these words. Sunya, deep listening. Take a nice deep breath. Suspend the breath. Exhale. You can find that on Spotify. So be sure to tune in to the practice that I will have posted up next week for building our intuition, for processing, for being able to deeply listen to ourselves. VenusTransmissions.com. You can sign up for my 5-day free voice challenge. And I also have a paid course that gets deep into the voice, traditional voice, but spiritual voice practice. Because again, we need to be able to hear ourselves in the physical flesh to hear that internal world as well. And if you want a private astrology reading with me, for instance, some interesting things to note as I was speaking about voice, the planet Venus of love, I do sidereal astrology for readings usually, although I can look at the Western charts too. Venus is in my house of communication, and I believe it's, supported by Jupiter. And you can find things like that in your chart. I was singing before I really looked into my chart that deep with the Vedic and the sidereal. But isn't it so interesting that we are given these clues, or we've left clues for ourselves? AquarianYogi.net, again, the most important thing you can do, the most radiant thing that you can do, the thing that will give you all the answers is having a spiritual practice. AquarianYogi.net, right now it's only $100 for the year to have access to dozens of videos, practice videos, meditation, yoga, ancient practices that will completely transform your life. I've been practicing them since I was 18 years old, teaching for a very long time, and I do it every day. And I'm very grateful. It's the best gift that you can give to yourself. Satnam. I'd love to, please leave any comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Satnam.